Well, I remember when you were diagnosed the first time. I was in 4th grade, Luke was in 5th grade, and I remember you were going in for surgery, and all I could think of was that cancer was this scary creature out of a nightmare, that I didn't comprehend what it was, and that it had just affected our life and kind of rocked us to the core as, a young kid, but that you and Mom didn't really change our day-to-day life, that you were still so hopeful and so positive through it all.
Well, when I was diagnosed at age 39, I was going in for hernia surgery and they found cancer. And during the diagnosis of it, they decided that they needed to do more research before they could have that surgery. So they did a lot of research. They found I needed to have surgery, and the cancer had to be removed. I had a growth on my appendix that was very rare, and I was in surgery for 6.5 hours. And when I came out of surgery, I had to have chemotherapy from that point on for about 10 months. And one thing that I made a vow to myself and to Mom and to you guys was that the cancer wasn't going to change our life, or as little as possible. I wasn't going to let it change. I felt in my mind and in my heart that I had to not let cancer win any day.
And I just remembered that, how things changed in our life, very minimal, that we still went to school like normal. Luke and I still did our normal routine, and that you were just so, positive through it all, and that we still went on our family trip to Disney World that year.
One thing that I told my doctor was that I'd had chemotherapy I'd had 2 rounds of chemotherapy, and I told them we had this vacation already paid for and planned before I found out I had cancer. And I told them I was going on that trip no matter what, and that if we had to stop chemotherapy that I could go. So the doctor set it up that I had a treatment the day before we left, and I had a treatment the day we came home. This round of chemotherapy, the type of cancer I had and the type of treatment I had, the biggest effect on me was it affected my appetite. Mm-hmm. And I ended up, after the 10 months of chemo was over, the biggest effect on me was I lost 44 pounds.
5 years ahead, we think that you've beaten it, that you're in a clear place, and I'm in 9th grade, Luke's in 10th, and we get the second diagnosis, that you were diagnosed with a completely different type of cancer.
Stage 44. Again, the cancer was found accidentally. I had gone in for, again, hernia surgery, which wasn't a good word in the family at that time. And the doctor at that time made a slight mistake and nicked my bowel, and it forced me to stay in the hospital because I got an infection. And in coming to the diagnosis of that infection and finding how to treat the infection and what they had to do, they had to open me back up and fix where the mistake was made, and they found the cancer. It was a blow, but it was also a godsend that a mistake was made.
They were able to find it.
But they were able to find it. When I got out that time, the doctor told me that I would again have probably about 10 months of chemotherapy, but a totally different type of chemotherapy. And this chemotherapy I would probably end up gaining weight, which I did because part of it was a steroid, but that I would lose all my hair. And it's something Luke did that I hadn't lost any hair, and I thought the doctor didn't know what he was talking about. And he said, "Well, you'll lose it before you come to the next chemotherapy." And the day before I was to go, I washed my hair and it all came out. And I come home from work that day, and my son had shaved his head.
Yeah.
And Luke shaved his head, and in honor of me, and that meant a lot.
And then here we are, 14 years later. We thought it all was behind us, and you were 60 years old, and you got the diagnosis a third time.
Yeah, and this time it was prostate cancer, which is fairly common in men of my age, and I just told the doctors, I said, I want all the different diagnoses and all the different ways we can treat this, and we decided to attack it with seed implantation, and right now I'm doing well, and my blood counts are down, and we feel we have it beaten. You always have it in the back of your mind that it could come back, but you have to kind of put that out of your mind and
Have the faith
have
and the
faith
hope.
in God and in your doctors, and that it won't come back.
Yeah.
The cancer has made me a stronger person mentally, and it beats you down physically, but I feel it's made me stronger mentally, because I feel that you can't give up. And I've talked to many cancer patients and have expressed to them that they still have to continue to live their lives and live it to the fullest. If they enjoy doing something and they spend 2 or 3 hours a day doing that, and they feel they can't do it, well, don't do it 2 or 3 hours, but at least go do it. Do it for 10 minutes, do it for a half hour. You can't let cancer...
That's why we can't get you to stop.
and I'm never going to stop, no matter what. I want to be able to continue to live my life, and I don't want this disease to affect those around me, my family, my grandkids. I mean, I've been blessed that I have been able to experience graduations of yours and Luke's, weddings, grandkids, and I've been able to experience things that my father, who died of cancer at age 69, did not get to experience. And
Love you.
love you.